Imagine this. You've just become a dad. You're floating on adrenaline, pride, and 2 hours of sleep. You've survived screaming contractions, the don't look down there warnings, and the world's longest wait for one tiny cry. Finally, your baby arrives. You're overwhelmed. You're exhausted. You're blissfully happy. So, what do? You buy flower, because obviously, carnations will totally express the tidal wave of emotions you can't even begin to put into words. That's exactly what Ethan did. White lilies, pink roses, hospital hallway glamour. He pictured his wife Lena's smile when she saw them. He even grabbed a coffee on the way back, because why not? It was the first calm moment in out, but when he pushed open the door to room 314, bouquet first, the world tilted. The bed, empty. The bassinet, empty. The monitor, dead. The flowers slipped in his grip, and just like that, Ethan's brand new life turned into a nightmare. Now, before we sprint ahead, let's rewind a little, because to understand why room 314 became a ghost story, you have to feel the setup. Early that morning, Ethan and Lena's big day began like something out of a family drama. The streets were still damp with night, the hospital glowing ahead like a lighthouse. Lena's hand squeezed is so tight he thought bones might snap. Inside, nurses buzzed like clockwork, moving around her with sharp efficiency. Hours passed, sweat, pain, clenched teeth, until finally, the cry of their daughter split the air. Tiny, fragile, perfect. Ethan swore he'd never forget the look on Lena's face in that moment. Pure exhaustion, yes, but pure love too. For one shining instant, everything was exactly as it should be. And then, Ethan left. Just for flowers. Just for a coffee. Just for a minute. When he came back, it was like walking into an abandoned stage set. The water glass half full, the sheets still warm, the curtain swaying gently like someone had just slipped away. Now, here's where it gets weird. Ethan's brain tried to rationalize. Routine checkup? Maybe they moved her. Maybe he just missed them in the hall. But then came the nurse. The look on her face wasn't relief. It wasn't, "Oh, don't worry, sir." No, it was panic disguised as politeness. "We can't find the patient," she said. "Excuse me, what?" Hook 1. What do you do when the hospital, the place, designed to save lives, suddenly loses the two most important people in yours? Ethan's heart was in free fall. One second he was a dad. The next he was a man staring into a black hole. He demanded answers, but answers weren't coming. Nurses whispered. Doctors shuffled. Phones rang. Everyone looked busy, but nobody looked confident. And that's when Ethan realized hospitals have rules, protocols, systems. Patients don't just vanish, which meant this wasn't a mistake. This was something else. Hook 2. And here's where paranoia becomes your new best friend. Was it a kidnapping? Hospitals aren't strangers to baby snatchers. Cold, but true. Was it a cover-up? Maybe Lena had complications they weren't admitting yet. Or, and this is where Ethan's brain went, full tinfoil hat with something much darker going on behind those white, sterile walls. Now pause. Let's put ourselves in Ethan's shoes for a second. You've just watched your wife battle through hours of labor. You've held your newborn for less than an hour. Then poof, they're gone. No warning, no explanation. Do you go nuclear and demand answers? Or do you crumble under the weight of shock? Ethan chose the first option. He stormed the nurse's station, bouquet crushed like confetti in his fist. "Where is my family?" His voice cracked, desperate. Staff avoided his gaze, shuffling papers that didn't need shuffling. Finally, one doctor stepped forward, his tone calm, too calm. He said words that made Ethan's blood turn to ice. "Sir, there's something you need to know." Hook 3. "Oh no, Doc. Don't start a sentence like that unless you're about to explain why my entire family just disappeared into thin air." The explanation came in fragments. Something about an incident. Something about complications. But here's the kicker. The hospital records didn't match the timeline. The file said Lena was still in delivery. The newborn hadn't been logged into the system at all. On paper, it was like they never existed. And now we've officially gone from medical drama to conspiracy thriller. Ethan, running on nothing but caffeine and pure adrenaline, did what any terrified husband would. He searched the hospital himself, floor to floor, storage rooms, stairwells, even the cafeteria. Every corner turned up nothing but that same gnawing absence. And here's the cruelest twist. Every hour that passed made the story harder to believe. Try telling the cops your wife and baby were here and now they're gone, but nobody in the hospital seems to remember. Sounds crazy, right? Exactly, that's the trap. Hook 4. What's worse than losing everything you love? Having nobody believe you ever had it in the first place. And that's where we'll leave Ethan clutching flowers meant for a celebration that never came, staring at a hospital that suddenly felt more like a prison. Now, here's the million-dollar question. What really happened in room 314? Was it a medical tragedy disguised as an incident, a calculated abduction, or something far stranger, lurking beneath the polished floors and smiling staff of a hospital that doesn't want you to know the truth? One thing's for sure. Ethan's story isn't just about a missing family. It's about how fast your reality can shatter, how quickly joy can flip into horror, and how sometimes the scariest mysteries aren't in dark alleys or abandoned houses. They're in the very places we trust the most. So, what do you think? If you were Ethan, would you believe the hospital's story or would you start digging for the truth? No matter where it led, drop your theory in the comments, because I want to hear every wild guess. And if you want more stories where ordinary moments spiral into extraordinary mysteries, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell. Because the next story, let's just say it'll make room 314 look like a warm-up act.